Hello?
Yeah, this is Sean calling you back.
Oh, hey, how are you? It's Kyle Carroll at USCombatSports.com.
Good, how you doing?
Not too bad. Well, first I wanted to ask, your last fight in the UFC was at UFC 119. You defeated Evan Dunham, earning the fight of the night. Can you describe how it felt to get a victory after that fight and a bonus after coming off of a loss?
Felt great, you know. I mean, my last fight before that was against Frankie, and that was very unsatisfying. So felt good to get in there and fight somebody like Evan and end up with fight of the night. I believe we were like number 7 fight of the year or something like that. So it was definitely a good time.
Awesome. Do you have any upcoming fights or anything in the works you're planning on?
Nothing scheduled. You know, I'm planning on maybe doing something this summer. You know, I've been on a hiatus just because of injuries. You know, I mean, I've been competing since I was 7 years old, and got a body trying to recuperate and rehab a little bit.
All right. Can you shed some light on the lightweight division right now? What do you think of the new champ, Ben Henderson? And is there anyone you would keep an eye on that's rising quick?
I think the lightweight division is the toughest weight class in the world. You know, I mean, if you would have told me 2 years ago that, or even a year ago, that Ben Henderson was going to be the lightweight champ of the world, I would have told you you're crazy. Especially after I see him. Uh, I didn't see the fight, but I just saw the highlight kick with Pettis. You know, but Henderson came on strong. You know, he fought the best of the best right out of the gate. You know, he beat Bocek, he beat Miller, he beat Guida, and he beat Frankie, you know, so he definitely deserves to hold that strap. As far as up and comers, you know, I mean, the division's stacked with them. Diaz is right up there, and Miller's still up there at the top of the pack, and you know, I think Frankie's probably, you know, he'll end up fighting somebody tough, and then he'll end up getting rematched again, you know, so the division's just stacked with contenders.
What do you think the new generation of fighters taken away from your generation with Matt Hughes and legends like yourself, BJ Penn? What do you think they've taken away from what you guys have paved the path for?
Well, I think first of all, these guys, you know, I didn't start training or competing until I was 26 years old, and in mixed martial arts, you know, and a lot of these guys now, you know, they're doing this stuff when they're 16, 17, 18 years old, and by the time they're in their mid 20s, they've already got 10 years of training under their belt, plus wrestling and everything else. So the new generation is more well-rounded than my generation. You know, my early generation, I should say. You know, back in the day when, you know, being Hughes, Trigg, and Carlos, you know, there was only a handful of guys that were truly three-dimensional. Now, everybody in the UFC is three-dimensional. There's no such thing as a two-dimensional fighter at the top level anymore. So the generation's grown, and you know, everybody trains everything, and it shows.
All right. With Alistair Overeem failing his drug test before this fight coming up, what are your thoughts on it? With having similar experience, how do you think it's going to affect his career?
Never goes away, regardless of what you tell people, and regardless, in my case, regardless, lie detector test, a blood test, doesn't matter. People don't care, man. It's just gonna haunt him for the rest of his life, unfortunately. So I wasn't aware that he failed the drug test, but so that I'm assuming that title fight is scrapped now.
Yeah, I'm assuming they're still figuring that out. But all right. Well, right now, are you still working at Minnesota MMA? Are you helping train anyone or training a little, doing anything, improving on anything?
Well, you know, I mean, I helped Nick Lentz with his last fight, helped Boltzmann with his last fight, helped a couple other guys, you know, the other up-and-coming guys with their fights. So, you know, I mean, you know, we got so many tough guys at the gym, and we got a bunch of guys fighting the UFC. So I'm up there and just trying to help out whenever I can, I guess. Otherwise, I'm just training myself.
All right. Do you have an idea of how many more fights you would like to plan on doing, or is retirement knocking on the door and kind of just calling it
I'd
a
like to
career?
do a couple more still.
All right. Well, who would be an ideal your last fight for your career? Who would you want to fight against?
I wouldn't fight a rematch because someone that I got beat by. You know,
Uh-huh.
I think that'd be fun. I think that'd be fun. You know, get some kind of a rematch against one of the guys that had beaten me earlier. You know, I've got 4 losses over the course of 12 years, and you know, those 4 losses come at the hands of some of the best in the industry. So it'd be a great rematch and against any one of those guys, and I think fans would definitely be down to watch something like that too.
For sure, for sure. Can you tell me a proudest moment as a fighter?
A what?
Proudest moment as a fighter?
For me, winning the UFC belt.
All right. What would be the toughest moment that you had to overcome in your career?
Probably say the BJ Penn fight.
BJ Penn fight? Why is that?
Well, just because of the accusations I was going through and the black cloud that was hanging over my head, and the fact that BJ beat me, you know, that was a real tough moment.
All right. Do you have any short-term goals, long-term goals in the sport of MMA that you have in your mind that you kind of want to just figure out?
Short-term goals. I mean, you know, I'm pretty much coming to the end of my career, so there's really no long-term goals. I mean, I'd love to fight for another world title. You know, I don't know. I mean, right now, just step into the cage with the best fighters in the industry and beat them. You know, that's really the only goal I have at this point in time.
All right. All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And we hope to see you fight again soon. Definitely a huge fan.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Later.